Welcome to Garden Chills.
Tonight, Charlie Brewster and Peter Vincent are back at it again to take on the bloodthirsty fiends of the night in Fright Night Part 2. This time directed by Tommy Lee Wallace of Halloween 3. We follow Charlie 3 years after the events of the first, but this time around we find out that Charlie has been in therapy and he no longer believes in vampires.
Because vampires don't exist.
He's just going to college, spending time with his new girlfriend Alex, and trying to move past his vampire encounter. Peter Vincent, on the other hand, has been taking advantage of his newfound knowledge and trying to spread the word on his show.
I have seen his burning eyes, smelled his rancid breath.
But everyone just looks at him as crazy.
There's no telling where.
He's impossible.
However, this time, Peter has a new neighbor in his apartment building, and her name is Regine. And yes, this deadly beauty is a vampire, and she has her sights set on Charlie and Peter. Together, the two must team up again to do battle against the forces of darkness.
Peter, it's happening again.
Between the original and the sequel, the original is the superior film. But, don't get me wrong, this is still a solid follow-up. Charlie and Peter are still a great duo. William Ragsdale and Roddy McDowall slip back into their roles with ease.
Or is it just that you're scared? Well, not that hurt, Charlie.
And Tracy Lind as Alex makes for a great addition to their team. Most vampire movies make the female characters to be the classic damsel in distress, but the filmmakers flip the tables on this one. Alex doesn't scare easy. She takes no bullshit, and she's not afraid to get her hands dirty.
I have got a patient who is in the wrong hospital. Now I'm going to get grief from you because I still look like a teenager.
Julie Carmen as Regine makes for a great follow-up villain. She's smooth, seductive, and cunning. Don't let her looks fool you, because behind that gaze, she has something sinister up her sleeve.
But soon you'll be immortal, and it's forever that I'll torture you.
To keep things interesting, the movie does a good job at introducing Regine's crew of vamps, all with their own unique gimmicks. From a vampire on roller skates, to one that has an obsession with eating bugs. Hey, it's Shao Kahn!
It has begun!
And one that can even turn into a werewolf. Yo, it's Napoleon Dynamite's Uncle Rico!
Coach would have put me in fourth quarter, we'd have been state champions, no doubt.
My main gripe with the film comes with the arc of Peter Vincent. In the beginning, he's fueled and eager to spread the word that vampires exist. You'd think he'd be ready to do battle again, but when Charlie informs him that the vamps are back, Peter goes back to being scared, only to regain his bravery in the last act.
I kill vampires.
It seems like the filmmakers didn't know how to handle Peter's character in this movie, so they tread on familiar ground to give him something to do, but Roddy McDowall still kills it in the role.
I am just borrowing this. I promise.
The filmmakers also recycled the having a vampire for a neighbor plotline, but rest assured, it's handled well enough to where it doesn't feel like a direct copy of the first. The makeup effects are still pretty great. They're kept up with the same level of quality, disgusting and beautifully over the top as they should be. I also like how the weapons are more creative, and how they obtain them is pretty funny, and true to Peter's character.
It's from Jaws of the Vampire.
This movie isn't as scary as the original, and I think it has to do with how the original was presented. The horror came from seeing Charlie and Peter do battle against the undead because they were inexperienced. Now that they know what's out there, they have a better handle on things. So as we see them competent in their surroundings, we feel the same. And I think the filmmakers knew they couldn't replicate the same level of fear, so they bumped up the fun factor.
Okay, Mr. Vincent, you can go kill your vampire now.
It's a great fun follow-up that stays true to its predecessor. It should be noted that if you're looking to buy this movie, the DVD is unfortunately expensive and out of print. There are similar distributors that sell a Blu-ray combo pack with the original, but they only have a limited stock. But luckily you can stream the whole thing off YouTube for free. It's a shame that this movie doesn't have a wider following because it really is a good sequel. But hopefully as time passes, it'll gain the recognition it deserves.
Welcome to Fright Night.